Welcome to the Lemons and Pineapples podcast. I'm your host, Emma O'Brien, personal development coach, HeartMath practitioner, dog photographer, and entrepreneur. In this podcast, I share tools, strategies, and amazing guest interviews to help you improve your mindset and your well-being with a sprinkle of fun and probably some mention of dogs along the way. So without further ado, let's squeeze the day. Hello and welcome to episode 4 of the podcast. Today I'm going to be talking to you about the value of having a gratitude practice. Now, gratitude is a really undervalued feeling, in my opinion, and it's something that can be literally really quite life-changing when you start to look at the world through a lens of gratitude. There is a really amazing HeartMath tool called Quick Coherence, which effectively teaches you to take yourself from being in a stressful situation into generating a more positive feeling. Done and practiced over time, the benefits of this are really quite immense. The thing to start this with is the reason gratitude is so valuable and it's so useful to be able to generate gratitude on demand, if you like, is that you can't be grateful and angry, pissed off, raging, murderous, or insert your strong negative emotion here. You can't feel grateful and raging at the same time. It is not possible. And being able to generate a feeling of gratitude is a wonderful way of calming your nervous system down. So I talked in episode 1 about anxiety, and I talked about that fight or flight response. And anxiety usually puts us into a flight response. When we're in a flight response, we are operating from our very basic brain structure that is our alarm system, and it takes our prefrontal cortex, which is our logical brain, it literally takes it offline. And when we don't have access to our logical brain, we don't behave very logically. You know, the phrase you hear when people were out of their mind with rage, literally they were. And when we are not in touch with that front part of our brain that keeps our reactivity in check, life can go completely haywire. So learning to be able to cultivate gratitude on demand is a wonderful way of calming your nervous system response down so that in times of difficulty and in challenging situations, you're able to access the ability to respond rather than reacting. And the other thing here to talk about with gratitude is that when you are in a good, using this in terms of a good positive frame of mind, you're better able to assess situations on a more objective level. When you're feeling better, you do better. When we feel better, we do better. And we are more compassionate and understanding of other people. Like I've said already, I've reiterated with it, we are less prone to being reactive. Stressed people are generally reactive people, and being on the receiving end of someone who's very reactive is unpleasant, and being reactive is unpleasant. We generally, if you're in a reactive space, we've all done it. You say things you shouldn't, and it's really unhelpful in the long run. So being able to cultivate gratitude can really counter that emotional out of controlness that we can experience when we're in times of stress. And the more you can tap your ability to feel grateful for things, the more you build your emotional resilience. I've talked a little bit about this in previous episodes, and it's going to be something I talk about in more depth on an upcoming episode because it needs its own space, really. The HeartMath definition of resilience, which I think sums it up really beautifully, is resilience is the capacity to prepare for, recover from, and adapt in the face of stress, challenge, or adversity. The more you are able to cultivate gratitude on demand, to be able to view the world through a lens of gratitude, the better able you are to access your emotional resilience. When you are emotionally resilient, life unfolds much more easily and you're able to cope better when there are challenges thrown at you in life. I talked in the previous episode about navigating change, and this is one of those things that is a tool that can be so useful to help you when you're going through times of change. So a gratitude practice is super simple, and anybody can do it. And literally you can start off by finishing your day or beginning your day, or both, by making a list of 3 things that you are grateful for. These might be huge things. They might be, you might have had won a really great contract at work. Your partner might have spoilt you with a gift. Insert thing you're grateful for here. Whatever it is that you're grateful for, make a list of these things. And sometimes we have difficult days, right? And sometimes on a difficult day, your gratitude list might look like have a warm bed to sleep in, manage to pay the rent, didn't go postal at work. That's also fine. But the more you can start to find things to be grateful for, and this is especially valuable in the midst of difficult times when it can be really hard to reach for a positive if you've had a really shitty day. It can be very hard to find something to be grateful for. But the more you do it, the more you condition your brain to start to look for the positive things in life. When you start to condition your brain to get out of the natural negative bias that we're in most of the time, we're surrounded by negative stuff, right? We are bombarded by negativity in the media, in the news. You might know some people who are always really negative, and it does take quite a lot of effort to extract yourself from that and start to see the world through a different lens. And having a daily gratitude practice will really help you to start doing that. And you can make your list longer as you get better at this. It's much like the meditation I talked about in episode 1. You might start with 2 minutes of meditating, which leads you into 20 minutes of meditating eventually. And it's the same with the gratitude practice. Once you've got into the swing of it, you might start looking for 10 things you're grateful for each day, or 20 things. Then you really have to stretch into finding those things. And you'll find... And you can let me know about this. I love feedback from you guys. Pop me a DM at Emma O'Brien Coach on Instagram. Let me know how you get on with this. The more you start to look for the good things that have happened in your day, the more you start to look for the silver linings in seemingly difficult situations, because coming from a lens of gratitude doesn't mean automatically that life's just going to be all rainbows and unicorns. Difficult stuff will still happen, but it shifts your attitude in how you perceive it, how you react to it, how you deal with it, how you process it. The more you do that, the better your mood will be. The better your mood is, the better people respond to you. It has this amazing cascading effect. One small, simple habit. So, I invite you this week to start a gratitude practice, start listing out 3 things every day you're grateful for, and see how, after a week of doing that, your mindset shifts, see how your mood is, and see how you feel. And make sure you let me know. I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you for listening to today's episode. If you've enjoyed it, please share with your friends and be sure to leave me a 5-star rating and review, especially if you're listening on Apple Podcasts. To find out more about my one-on-one coaching, please visit my website, which is emmaobriencoach.com. And remember, folks, when life gives you lemons, you can always choose another fruit. See you next time.